guess we'll go ahead and move on to field strip and maintenance. This is kind of another hit of the gun. Two things. It's got a very strange, at least for me, I don't have much experience with kind of foreign guns, but it's got an interesting field strip. It's not difficult, it's just weird. It's not kind of what we're used to in the States. And the other thing is the maintenance on it. It does have, well, I'll get to it later, but it does have some issues as far as reliability when the gun gets dirty. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. So always, safe direction, make sure the gun is clear. On this one, you're actually going to bend the polymer frame out here. It's got a little notch. Well, I just got called away to do something here in the house, so I apologize for that. But I'm back now. I was talking about the field strip and maintenance on this. Like I said before, it's a little bit strange as far as what I'm used to, but it's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. On this one, you're actually going to bend the trigger guard here, the polymer frame out. Just kind of push up and then pull out a little bit on it, and it'll kind of pop out like that. Once you get it to this point, you just simply pull the slide back and then pull up on it and let it go forward. And that releases everything for you there. The barrel comes out, and the spring comes off. The guide rod is attached to the lower here, and as you can probably see, it's just plastic, which is I don't think it's really a big issue. There's no wear on this, like I said, after 1,500 rounds. So I mean, it's doing just fine. I kind of, if it would be, I don't know, aluminum or something, maybe that would be better, but it works just fine. The barrel itself, part of the design on this gun, and you can see here by the cutout there, the barrel is a rotating barrel design, which is good and bad. I think it's very good for the accuracy, and like I said, this gun is kind of meant, in my estimation, as being more of a competition gun. So I think the rotating barrel design, it's kind of like the same that the new PX4 Beretta has got on it, and some others. It's a truer shooting design, I think, because the Browning design, has the barrel tilt up as the recoil comes back. So I think there's a little bit less give there, and it makes it a little bit more accurate. But it does decrease, I found, the reliability a lot. This gun shoots really well as long as it's lubed and clean. In my experience, about the I don't know, 200 round point, it will start to kind of malfunction if it's dirty. If you put 200 rounds through it and you haven't cleaned it, it likes to get stuck. I guess there's no other way I can put it. You'll get kind of different malfunctions, but sometimes it'll go into battery. Sometimes there's just too much grit, and it'll cause feed or ejection errors or malfunctions. So it's kind of it's temperamental when it comes to that. Now, as far as reliability and durability over the long haul, I have not had any problems with it. If we look at the barrel a little bit, you can see most of this is grease, but you can see there that there's a little bit of wear marks on it, but nothing too bad. I mean, a lot of my other guns with the Browning designs, they've got much more wear on them after having only 200 rounds put through them. So I have no doubt that this is going to be a gun that I'll have for a long time. As long as that polymer frame doesn't crack or something crazy on me, then it'll be good. Now you can see here in the barrel, it's a traditional Lands and Grooves type setup, which is good for a competition gun because a lot of guys like to run lead, non-jacketed ammunition through their guns, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, the barrel, it's pretty solid. I don't really have any complaints on it other than it doesn't like to run dirty for long periods of time there, which is another reason why I wouldn't really recommend this gun for anything else like self-defense, or if you were in a WROL kind of situation, you didn't know when you were going to be able to maintain your weapon, how many rounds you're going to put through it, if it was going to be dumped in the dirt, stuff like that. This would not be my go-to gun. But other than that, you can see, you know, it's pretty much basic stuff. I've got some, I think that's TW25B grease in there, works pretty well. So there you go. Reassembly is just the opposite here. But one other thing when you're kind of disassembling and reassembling this gun, the barrel, because there's less tolerances, the barrel likes to kind of get stuck in here. So sometimes you might have an issue just kind of getting it out and then putting it back in. If you don't have it aligned just right, like here, I'll try to do it here. Of course, no, it's not going to do it. Well, there. Okay, so now the barrel's like stuck in there. Sometimes it can be pretty gross. It can be kind of a pain, but if you're paying attention, it's usually not a problem. If you go with the flat side in first, it's pretty good. So it just drops right in. Kind of be careful because the spring's not attached to anything. Put it back in. Do this off camera here. And of course, trying to do this, or the tripod is not working very well here. Alright, let's try this again. And as you can see, you know, I mean, even me, I've had this gun for a long time, shot it a lot. It can still kind of be a pain sometimes. So you just put it back in and then clip this back in, and you're ready to rock. So there you go. That's the field strip of maintenance on it. Pretty easy. I didn't really do a good job there trying to deal with the tripod, but you know, whatever. That's my excuse. You can just laugh at me and have fun with it. So let's see here. Now another negative to this is where it's going to take another hit, is accessories and / versatility. It doesn't really have a whole lot. Like I said, I put the sights on. Dawson Precision carries those. But other than that, there's not really a whole lot of options for this gun, just because it's kind of unusual. For me, there was no holsters really available except for something like a knuckle mics or, you know, a nylon. For a while I was carrying it in a drop leg Blackhawk, which worked fine, but that's not allowed in USPSA. So if you do want a good retention holster, you're going to have to do some research, some digging, maybe call up some, you know, Kydex holster makers, or you can just make your own. That's what I did. Kydex is not very hard to work with. Now, once again, I'm going to show you all the holster I made and kind of talk to how easy it is to make, but I usually run with this in single action cocked and locked here. So on my holster I made it so that it keeps that safety position, you can see here. So I like to use it like that. I'll show you here. Just a simple, you know, Kydex thing that you can press and kind of trim yourself. Get some Chicago screws. You can go to knifekits.com. They've got all the stuff you need there if you want to. This is the way I prefer to run it, but other than this, I'm not really sure of any manufacturers that are making holsters. Like I said, you'll probably just have to do a nylon holster, which you know, works fine. So it's not really a big deal. It's just not as pretty as some of the other options. So there's that. For the mags, it comes with a 17 round, at least mine did. Like I said, they make 10 round mags now, so if you're living in, you know, California, New York, Vinny, you know, you should be able to just call SDI and be like, hey, I'm in New York, this gun, you know, I like this gun, ship it to me with however many 10 round mags you want. And if you need more, you can get them elsewhere. Like I said, Dawson Precision makes those mags too. You can buy them there, so it's a good place for them. This is what the 20 rounder looks like. They're metal, and it's just got a plastic butt plate there. I have not had any reliability issues with the mags. They work just fine. Mine have been dumped in the dirt probably hundreds of times now. You know, every other time I shoot, I'll actually disassemble the mag and kind of clean it out. But they're good. They're metal mags. Should last you a long time. The spring seems pretty good. Follower's pretty good. You know, pretty durable. And I don't know if you noticed, but they actually jump right out of the gun. You know, there's no issue. But some people have complained that there's rattle. You hear that? So there is a little bit of give in there, but they're very solid. So if rattling bugs you, then you may not want to use these. You know, but I don't really care. So they just pop right out. They're really good for that. Makes your speed reloads pretty good. Another thing I guess I didn't mention on the Ergos is the magazine release. It's a kind of a domed cut here. Let's see if you can see it. See that? And it's ambi, and it sticks out just far enough. It's got a nice little kind of relief cut there, and it's not very gritty. It's got a substantial feel to it, but it's not too tough. They're good. I wouldn't change anything about them. Let's see, what else? Durability we talked about. Track record. I can only really speak to mine. STI says, or Grand Power, the company that actually makes these. I think it's Slovakia where they're made. They say that their military and police units over there will actually carry this as a duty pistol. I don't, I'm assuming that's true. I don't know. I don't have any information to back that up. I don't know of anybody here in the States that's actually using this except guys that compete. For me, like I said, I've got at least 1,500, maybe a little bit more rounds through the gun, and it's been great. I've had no issues except for the things I've stated earlier. It doesn't like to run dirty. So if you've shot 200, 300 rounds through it, you might start to get some malfunctions. There's just less space because the tolerances are a little bit tighter, and the barrel, rotating design. There's just less space. So, all right. Well, my battery just died on me, so I guess my camera's telling me I should probably shut up and move along here. I was saying the track record for me has been good. Basically, it doesn't like running dirty. I'll try not to repeat myself here anymore. So, now to the kind of one of the biggest options here is biggest things to talk about, I guess, is value. And I think this gun is listed right now MSRP like $660, something around there. You can probably find it, $6. I didn't really do a price check on it or anything. That's about what I paid for it. I don't remember. It's been a while, so I don't know exactly. But that's about what I paid for it. So, but I mean, for that money, that's the same as you'd be paying for an XD, Glock, MMP, anything like that. So if you're just looking for another gun, that kind of price range, this may just be it. One thing I didn't touch on also, the fit and finish of the gun maybe isn't the best. I don't know what kind of coating this is on the slide, but you can see here near the muzzle on the bottom part there, it's been rubbing off on me. I think it's bluing, and it's just it's kind of rubbing off on me. So it only seems to be in that area. I haven't had any issues anywhere else. I don't really know what that's all about, but just take it for what it is. They do mention that you don't want to get any solvents or gun cleaning stuff on the polymer part of it. That's kind of standard for everything. So anyway, I guess I should probably wrap this up. Vinny, I hope I answered your questions. Anybody else out there looking for a GP6, I hope this was useful to you. Stay safe. Remember your primary gun rules, and spread the sport. All right, take care, guys. Ready? Ready. Go.